Hi.
Hello and
How are you
welcome.
doing?
Welcome. Hi, how are you?
Fine, fine. How are you doing? Welcome to this program of the 13 Pillars Society for Peace. So we are in the, let me see,
Eight, number eight.
eight, number eight.
Yes.
Yes, renovated
Renovated
art.
art and quantum geometry. Yes.
Yes, good,
Yes,
good.
here we go.
Okay, let's do
Excellent.
that. Okay, Kausar. So what can you tell us about? We're going to talk today about two big
Actually, this
areas.
this is really as we call it secret. It's a top of the secret. So from the number eight, I can tell you a lot on these petals or pillars, as we can say it. This pillars recognitions, we can say, and between art and secret geometric. We're gonna learn a lot from this, and we're gonna see everything we have talked about before. It's right in this one. So because we really wanted to represent art the way it is, and we really need to talk about math and science and biology and energy all combined in one. So you're gonna love this petal. It's right in the middle of all the petals, where everything can be connected. So it's
Yes,
a
that's
beautiful thing.
beautiful.
Maybe to for the people so they can understand more what we're talking about. It's gonna be a lot of information, and really want them, whatever who's gonna be watching us today, to open up
Yes, open.
and and be really focused on every single word we're saying, because it's a lot of uh, great information. Maybe some people is going to be listening to it for the first time, I know some other people been working on that, and a lot of new generation talking about it now. But for from our programs and the way that we represent it, a lot of people is going to be really happy to hear this kind of information and give it to them just as simple as it is. So if you wanted to show them the video to start
Yes,
with the
yes.
art
Let's start
part,
to see
it's gonna be amazing.
why art is art. Yes. Let me
Yes,
let me
yes, yes, yes.
let me share with you guys, and let me see what
And
makes.
today we miss Naomi. Naomi has another part, another job somewhere else in the world. I'm sure that she's busy with that.
Yes.
Uh, Send her all the love.
Tell me if you listen the sound, please.
Okay.
What is art? That's easy.
Yes.
I know what art is, right? This is art, and this is art, and this too. Easy. But is this art? Or how about this? Or this is getting complicated. Let's see here. Art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination. Oh, cool. That's that then. But wait. Imagination. Art has to showcase creative skill and imagination. So does that mean that this photograph isn't art? It's well composed, it took creative skill, but no one imagined it. Okay, this is easy to fix. Art is the expression or application of human creative skill or imagination. But wait, what's a creative skill? I create to-do lists, have to be skilled to some degree in a language to do that. Does that mean this checklist is art? Not really. But then, what makes this poem any different? They're both just lines of text, often slightly grammatically incorrect. And poems are art, right? I think what sets art apart from other human creations is that it satisfies our senses. Music is for our ears, paintings and sculptures for our eyes. Art is an experience. But that didn't make everything art. There's not much a human being can know or understand without having first experienced it through our senses. And back to poems, we experience that through sight, but it's not exactly a visual wonder. It's more internal. So this senses thing doesn't really work. Okay, wait, I got it. Art is the expression or application of human creative skill or imagination that makes the audience feel something. Hear me out on this. The difference between a checklist and a poem is that it produces feelings. A song can be sad, it can make you feel energized, happy. Films can make you laugh, cry, or smile, or worry. It's all about emotions. Art makes us feel and think in a way that a checklist just can't. But nature can make me relax, make me happy, make me upset. And it's not exactly art, but a photograph of my view of nature is. Because art is human creative skill or imagination. It's the expression or relay of experiences and emotions from one person to another. But does that mean that this photograph, taken by a different primate, is not art? The law says it's not even worthy of copyright, but it feels like art, or maybe it isn't. Perhaps for art to be art, there has to be an intent, a goal. The monkey didn't know he was taking the photo. There was no intent. If I accidentally spill a bucket of paint on my carpet, it's not art. But if I put blobs of paint down with the intent of creating something, then it is. So maybe that's what our definition should be. Art is the purposeful expression or application of human creative skill or imagination that makes the audience feel something. A stick shelter that's just large enough to protect you from the rain isn't art. But when you make something greater than that, even just a larger than necessary stick shelter, then you have made art. You've gone above and beyond to purposefully make yourself or another feel safer, happier, and better. That's what makes architecture art, because they're more than simple tools. They make us feel something. But then we're back where we started. Anything can make us feel anything. These bowls tell us completely different stories. They express different things and make the audience feel differently. But are they art? Art versus design. This distinction also feels pretty simple on the surface. Art is art, however we decide to define it, and design is art, but with a practical purpose. This is a painting that makes us feel something. This is a design that also makes us feel something, but also allows us to achieve the goal of selling our product. This sculpture is art, this building is design. It has a function. But wait, what about parables? Or all stories for that matter, literature, films, music? The themes within them, they're art, they make us feel something on purpose. But their themes also have the definite goal of changing the way that we act, just like an ad. And we covered this. Design can be art. Something can be both. But I wouldn't call it political film design. I'd just call it art. So I think art, when it has a practical purpose beyond simple expression, has to have a focus on the emotions. It builds sympathy and empathy and understanding for a cause or issue while focusing on an experience. Design focuses on the functional details. It spreads understanding, is useful in practice. An anti-war painting builds sympathy. Army enrollment propaganda gives a call to action. And though it uses human emotions to make its point, it's focused on information. Okay, back to art. I still have a few more questions. Like, is dancing art? Acting? Playing the piano? Sure they are, but it's not exactly a creative skill. It's the expression of art. And a dancer, an actor, a pianist are all artists in their own right, but they're different. We have a word for this. Performance art. A playwright is a creative artist. They made the story. Actors are performing artists. They're the ones expressing the art. And sometimes they can be both. Different actors can create different arts in their varying performances. A director's work is the performance of a script, but they're also creating what will come to form its expression. A choreographer is a creative artist. A dancer, a performing artist. Also, an athlete. So are all athletes artists? Certainly the ones that need to be scored by judges are. But is Messi scoring a goal art? We certainly talk about it like that. The art of football, the art of fishing, the art of jogging. This use of the word art is related to and probably based on our definition of art. But I think it's being used as an entirely different word here. It refers to the craft and the knowledge and skill and experience of the individual working in that craft. If an accountant is called an artist, it's because the word art is being used in relation to class. The elite, skilled, rich class experiences art. Only the best of the best could have art. It speaks to the care and detail of the worker. But it's entirely different than the way we're using the word. Here, something can only be art when it's good. Art, in this context, is synonymous with quality. But for us here, art is not a metaphor, a descriptive noun. It's a thing in its own right. Bad art is still art. You can't say something isn't art, no matter how much you don't like it. Art is subjective. For there to be art at all, there has to be bad art. Things don't live in a vacuum. They can't exist without their opposites, otherwise they wouldn't exist at all. You wouldn't know it was daytime if night never came, because
when everyone's super, no one will be.
Art too exists on a spectrum. This macaroni crayon scribble piece of garbage is just as much art as Michelangelo's David. Troll 2 is no less a movie than Citizen Kane, and therefore is no less a piece of art. So when you're sitting on your break drawing stick figure comic strips, you're just as much of an artist as Da Vinci. Just not as good. A whole lot worse, actually. But again, that's subjective. And it's near impossible to compare two paintings and say which one is better. Is Mass Effect better than Mario Galaxy? You can't really say. Sure, they're the same medium, but they're inherently different. They have their own entirely different merits. So how do you know when art is good then? I think JWG's solution suits us best here. He has 3 questions to use when examining art, and they actually apply to almost any human endeavor. What was the goal? Did they achieve it? And was it worth it? Instead of comparing the piece to every single other piece that came before it, like most rating systems do, those questions force us to examine the art for what it really is, relative to only itself. You may not think that Jackson Pollock's work took anywhere near the amount of skill as Van Gogh's work, but that doesn't matter. They're different. What was the goal? To represent the world and experiences without the use of physical forms. Did they achieve it? Yes. Was it worth it? Yeah. It took abstracting the real into art to another playing field. Did something new. When 2001: A Space Odyssey was released, it was largely laughed at by critics. It was a horrible narrative film. It didn't meet standards, and compared to other great films, was a total failure. But using Goeth's 3 questions, what was the goal?
He kept saying, I want to change the form. I want to make a movie that changes the form.
Did they achieve it? For most moviegoers and aspiring marveling filmmakers, yes, it changed the game. For Kubrick himself,
And I said, well, didn't you do that with 2001? He said, just a little bit, but not enough. I really want to change the form.
was it worth it? Yes. The versatility of Goeth's questions are near endless, and it almost makes me reconsider this whole process of defining art. Does the definition really matter when we can instead focus on the value and merit of incredible human works, whether or not they're art? I'm not sure. But I'll leave you with one final question. Is this video art?
So every single person look at the art, it's from their own perspective. If
Yeah,
you're
that's
happy, you're
right.
gonna see this picture present you in a happy mood. If you have some kind of issue, you're gonna look at the different pictures and you're gonna see some little things here and there. But when we talk art, the first thing comes to my mind, maybe painting. You know, before I think of performing arts or whatever is the definition that we can put in there. But my son is a performing artist, so I learn a lot from him as well too. And then studying this kind of material that we're going to be talking about today, we learn everything that we do in our life as the creativities and art. So if really we do it from the artistic vision, you're gonna see everything you do on your life as piece of art.
Yeah, that's right.
Because
I believe
you
that.
really need to send a great message to your audience. You need to send a great message to your neighbor, to your family, to your kids. So you really need to choose your words. You really need to choose your behavior, your kindness to the people. So all this together can create all that. And I know when the artist do his the drawing, they do get back into themselves and bring everything from inside out. So and we use this and a lot with the kids these days. We do the mandala. We talk about mandala before. We talk about the painting itself. We give them different colors and we ask them to draw and to pick any colors they want. Sometimes they do pick dark colors and they do whatever. So, and then I know when with the different color that they choose from the first time that they do have certain issues because mentally they do pick this color because they do have something to show. And then later on, I ask them to do the same painting but with different colors, and this is we call it color therapy. So we really want them to create this kind of reaction inside the you can say the subconscious level because they're aware of what they're doing. So mentally, you're in the subconscious level. So on that level, you can create the change without even realizing what's going on really.
Yes, and in what when you talk about that, all of us we are artists. I
Yes,
believe that because we kind of interpret the life, we interpret life in certain ways. So
yes,
everybody is creating their own artwork with their
yes,
own life, isn't it? So
absolutely.
it's very interesting. Yes, yes.
And we do have our own experience because I am a hypnotherapist and I can get into the people's mind a lot.
Yes.
I had one time an experience with the group of artists. They were coming here to Lebanon from different countries, from Iraq, from the Middle East, from Europe, and they were a huge festival for all the artists, and it was really something beautiful. We took him in a trip to one of the museum of Gibran Khalil Gibran. Gibran, he had so many books, and one of his
Yes.
famous books is The Prophet,
Yes,
and it's very well known. Everybody, I guess, read that book. He does have a museum here in Lebanon, and it's a beautiful place and inside a beautiful forest full with the cedar trees. So we went hiking in a cedar tree, and we went to the museum one day with these people, with these artists.
uh-huh.
So I sat there watching the painting forever, and they keep going back and forth and watching me sitting. And he said, "Why you still staring at this painting?" I was like, I wanted to think what Gibran was thinking when he was drawing this painting.
Exactly. That's
So
incredible. Yeah.
because I was able to see a lot on this painting, and I keep thinking, oh, what he was thinking on that, you know. And
Yes.
then the guy came, and he's an artist, so he was like, you know, he was talking about something more, like this painting is like, I don't know how many years old, and they did some retouche, they call it, touch up on it to fix it and to keep it stable. So this here, they had fixed it here, they had fixed it there, they did it. I said, you know what? I didn't see any of that. I don't know. It's been done. It's been fixed. Okay. All what I think, what he was thinking that time when he drew this painting,
Yeah.
and to connect with that, I have seen a lot of this kind of deja vu, you can say, when I visited Egypt. In Egypt, you see most the temple, and they took all the art work from the temples to the
Take it.
museum.
Yeah. Yes.
So when you go to the museum, you see all these huge structures, and when you just stand in front of it, you see the pore of the skin there. I mean,
Yes.
you know, and this is like thousands of years. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is really fantastic. I mean, how they create all this huge stone, so many, I mean, the height of each structure, it's phenomenal. And how in detail you just feel this person's gonna talk to you in 1 second, you know? So sometimes if you really think about that and you love art and you just go steer into some painting or some, you know, statues or wherever, you feel like something's talking to you, somebody's talking to you, something, you get a message from there. And this is really what we try to connect with all these work together, because at the end, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to rise the collective consciousness together.
Yeah.
When we raise the collective consciousness here, what we're doing for the earth, we're trying to shift from one um, generation to another generation with a higher consciousness. We can all understand each other. We can live with each other more peacefully. And this is what we're trying to do in here as well. We're trying to let people understand this is really can happen. We can make that. We can really create a peaceful environment where everybody on earth and everywhere else, maybe there is another life somewhere else,
Yes, we
can
cannot be
all
part of
live
that.
peacefully.
Yes, and you know, as you mentioning, you can see all these kids, you know, when they get in touch with art, any kind
Yes,
of art, because I teach paint to kids also, small
yes,
kids. So, and adults, we get in touch with that part of us that actually makes us be the best version of us here. So the art is very important. Okay, so what do you think about going to our presentation?
yes.
So we will be
Wonderful.
talking about some more about different expressions of art. Okay, here. Don't forget that we are in the 13 Pillar Society for Peace program, and the program today is Renovated Arts. And today, Noemi is not with us, but she's an anthropologist and she's a P3000 founder. And we're going to begin with this presentation. So, here's a little about what Education 3000 is. Education 3000 is the same, stands as P3000 for English language. And this is an invitation, don't forget, to create a synergy and co create all together. As you see, we're talking about several subjects here. And the main goal is peace, is getting to a peace culture.
Yes,
Yes. And then, as we were talking with Kosar, of course, we want a fulfilled and happy human being. In arts, definitely are the way for having this fulfilled
yes,
and happy human being, isn't it? In that we help constructing our society, we get more creative. actually we realize that we are creators and
Yes,
we begin taking care of our planet. Oh, for sure, we're going to
absolutely.
begin taking care of our
Yes.
planet. Yes. Okay. So, renovated arts. Do you want to read this one and then
Okay. After studying all the seven previous pillars, we had already an expansion in consciousness and innovated art. Are, as a result, this expansion, Karina Rasaka 3000 facilitator. She is
yes,
amazing. I really wanted to thank her so much for all that. And I
yes,
really love the picture.
yes, and
We're
she
gonna we're
said
gonna
that.
learn about the picture in a couple minutes.
Yeah, she said that Karina mentioned this because we had the same program in Spanish, okay, in the 13 Pillar Society for Peace, los 13 pilares, la sociedad de los 13 pilares. And Karina Rascon, she's a facilitator, and she mentioned that as we have seen already the all the pillars, so we had an expansion with that. We're getting there in that place where makes us creators, makes us
Yes,
co-creators of this reality. And for this is that we're gonna understand the importance of art and also what the next thing that comes. So it's sacred geometry. So
yes.
if you want to talk a little more about the image.
Yeah, actually, we're getting into that, and then the explanation is gonna come with it.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So since we were created, we are already set up in a society as creative human beings from a higher octave of consciousness. Naya, she accompanies Karina too in those programs, and she mentioned that. And art is an expression. It is all we do as human beings. It is the best way we can express ourselves in any area of life. All of us are artists, as we say, Gosar. And I love this that Farid has shared with us. Do you want to read this?
Art awareness, a sense of real by establishing an intimate relationship between our inner being and the universe
At
at
large.
large, bringing us a consciousness of deep joy. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, and this is actually Rabindranath Rabindranath
And I
Tagore.
go, mhm.
Yes, and I love the poetry from Tagore as well. It's very meaningful for the subjects that we're taking today. There, okay. And I took this from a program that says what is art for, because
Mm,
it gave me the idea of what exactly what we are talking. Art gives us hope as it reminds us who we are. We are co-creators of our reality.
mm.
And art allows us to understand the duality of the world we live in. The art actually is not just happy, but you can see different paintings that are not happy. Those are just what you see reality. Some of them even war in
I
painting.
what you bring to my mind here as co-creators, and when you got this beautiful picture, you made me go inside this art again. We're talking about art, and we're expressing our feeling as much as we can. And this picture especially, I can see that when we create this, we go back to our main soul, that we connect ourselves, your body to your main soul, and you bring these pictures from I don't want to say your past lives, or your because the hologram, there is no past and front and back and all that, but there is, this information is already there. We're just tapping into this information, trying to bring it here and somehow represent it with art. Okay, so we can get benefits of it, so we can really level up our consciousness. So when you see the kids talking to themselves, sometimes we think they're sick, and some people think that they wanted to take them to the doctors or give them something for that. But really, when they do tap into their inner soul, they really know a lot of information. And a lot of people, they can clairvoyant, a lot of people, they can really bring a lot of information And then here, when we talk about Tesla last time, I mean, Tesla know about energy from way long than now. Now, in this generation, we're trying to make Tesla towers. We could have done it a long time ago before we even get into this. Now
Yeah,
we can talk a lot about Tesla. The kids the same way. The kids bringing this information from the main source of creation. And in there, it's like Google. You can
yeah,
search anything. You can just get your antenna up, and you
yeah.
can bring this back to you, and you can represent it in art. So art basically it's what's inside of us trying to get into the community, so we can really grow in consciousness together.
Yes, that's right. And that's why it says that art allows us to stay balanced because that
Yes,
consciousness is what gives us that balance that we need.
yes,
Well,
exactly.
yes, and helps us remember what is important in our life experience or the essential. So, because sometimes art can show some publicity, some so many things that are kind of or oriented towards the form, towards what it's seen, but actually it can take us to our essence as well. It can take us to that deep
Yes,
place
yes,
inside us where
yes,
you're
absolutely.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so next one is what is art and what is an artist? What's art? Would you want to read this?
It is the response of man's creating soul, yes, to call
Okay.
of the real. This is what exactly what we were
We're
talking about.
saying
Where are the we're trying to connect to our soul. We're trying to connect to our higher self. We're trying to connect to the twin flame inside of your heart, because
yes,
and then just bring whatever it's inside of you out. And we call this in therapy. You know, when you have the computer and usually you try to put everything on your computer and then sometimes it stuck. That's it. You cannot download anything any longer because the space is limited.
yes, uh-huh.
And then you remember the old days we used to have the CD RAM. Now
Yes,
the computer doesn't have CD RAM anymore because we use everything in a Google Doc and all that. But in old days we used to put them in a software. We call the CD is software. If you remember that time.
uh-huh.
The software is where you cannot load anything anymore in your body and you put it on art. The software is the art.
Yes,
When you cannot hold the thing inside of you any longer, you have to put it somewhere because it cannot be inside all the time. You're gonna have it somewhere. And this is comes from inside out and we represent it in art. It can be anything. And then we realize that this software you can take it everywhere you go, while the hardware inside you have all this great information.
yes,
So basically in each person we do have something that we really need to talk about. And then it can be poems, it can be painting, it can be anything. Sometimes you go to your neighbor, sing along with them, you write poems, and you go to your friend and you read the poems for them. You just bring in this out, and this is we always talk about the throat chakra when we do art. We get the third eye and the throat to be working together, and then this is the main connection here. I mean, the third eye. So when
yes.
we really need to express all that, we always try to get the throat chakra to be balanced.
Yes, and I want to share a comment from Cecilia with Cecilia Ibarra. Hi, Ceci. That she's
Hi,
yeah,
Cecilia.
she's in our backstage helping us, and she said some people, basically adults, tend to say, "Oh, I'm not creative person, and I'm not good at art." What do you
Oh,
think about this? What do
oh.
you think about this? I'm
Uh,
thinking,
well, I'm sure she's good in something, and
yeah,
it doesn't have to be painting or poems or anything. Whenever some people are good at home, just doing things, cooking, maybe just taking care of the family. This is art again too, because she's trying to perform something to the people around her, performing anything, any work, any kind of passion that she does for the family. It's part of the art that we're talking about. So when
yes,
we express that, look at this beautiful picture with
yes,
that kid. I mean, with all this great painting on his face. So
Yes,
you can
that's
see
her.
his beautiful eyes. He's an amazing soul.
Yes.
Kids
So
discover everything. Like if
yeah,
you see this picture and you just look at the to the color, you realize this kid is very smart. He's
yeah.
trying to discover all that. Look at the beautiful eyes. I mean, you can tell a lot from just looking at this picture, you know?
Yeah, and Karina Rascon, she's here. Carrie, hi. She says,
Yeah.
"Wow, this topic is really awesome. I love it." And it is awesome. Thank you, Karina, for saying hi to us, and we're
Yes,
thinking of
yes,
you
yes.
to
We
say
miss
the
you.
same. Yes, and thank you for all the information that you provided us as well. Here, this is kinds of art. We're beginning with
Yes.
this one, painting. This is my one of my favorites because I actually teach kids how to paint, and I do all the things like also the decorative. There's so many kinds of painting that you can do, and different kinds of paint actually to be used. You would like to share something
Well,
about it?
what we did over the last summer, maybe I should get you some picture of that next time. We got the kids to just because they don't know how to draw anything, and then we didn't have the time to draw the main structure and get them to paint it. So
Yes.
what we did, we just got them to do the paint
Uh-huh.
uh, in three different colors, and we did it in a whole a huge wall in the school, and we draw the flag.
Uh-huh.
That's the hand of the little kids.
Oh, that's
So you can see
beautiful.
the hands, but you can see the structure. Red and then we do have in the Lebanese flag we have the cedar tree. We draw a tree and the cedar tree, and we got them to paint it in green with their hands. It was so
Yes.
beautiful.
And
So this kind of
yes,
activities, you teaching them something at the same time. So you got them to get their mind into it,
yes,
and there's so much into that. There's so
yes.
much, when they concentrate onto the painting, the brain shift from consciousness to a higher consciousness. We when people faint,
Mm-hmm.
medical term, they say, oh, he's fainting, he lost consciousness.
Yes.
No, he is in a higher consciousness. He just can't feel what's happening to him,
We
but he
live for.
cannot talk.
Uh-huh.
You can feel what's happening to him. And then the brain on this stage, when you faint, it goes from beta to alpha to theta to delta. Yeah, I mean, into a higher frequency. So when we really sleep at the same level, our brain goes from different frequency to another. When we use the art, our brain frequency slow down, and we go from alpha to beta, sometimes to theta. So when you go to theta and you wake up after a bit, you realize, oh, your painting is amazing. And so
Yeah.
that's what you have done. So because you connect to your consciousness in a higher level, and you bring out everything inside you into this beautiful art.
Yes, and now
You're,
that you're mentioning, I like to do this intuitive painting with kids,
yes, absolutely.
yes, that you have them like meditate a little, okay, or
Yes.
just get in this state where they get in touch. I tell them, okay, I'm not telling that, okay, I'm teaching to meditate, but they are just go ahead and get in touch with that. Let's go in science and get in touch with there what is the fountain of everything that comes through you to express.
Mm,
And I tell them so they can stop, watching their phones and things like that. I tell them, okay,
absolutely.
listen, phone, everything is gonna be always out there. And you can
Just
just grasp it,
concentrate.
or you can bring something from Google, one image, and you can draw it and copy,
Yes.
but something that is unique and it's going to come through you. It's that when you get inside you and bring all this stuff through you and into the canvas or to whatever you're painting it, and they do great things. I mean, it's amazing how you can see these kids.
Well. We call that it's a belief system. The
Uh-huh.
belief system filter the information based on what you have learned through your life, and sometimes we do bring some information from the higher soul only when we connect, when we focus. When you go into the higher consciousness, you're not only working. You don't work anymore from your belief system. You work from your higher consciousness.
Uh-huh.
So the belief system sometimes limited you so much. Sometimes you want to say something or write or paint or do something, and then you do it like 100 times, and you always, you don't succeed because you're always trying to do it from your level of, let's say, not from the higher self.
Yes, from
When
your
you do the thing from your higher consciousness, it's always come right from the first time.
yes, I know. And
I want people to learn this kind of thing really, because we're not gonna stuck in things any longer
yes,
when we learn this. Because
yeah,
every time we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it right from the first time, and
yes.
it's gonna be beautiful. We
And
just have to accept that, and have enough confidence in ourselves that we really can do that.
yes, I know. And to let them know, let the kids know that there's no such thing as failure, because
Yes.
anything that comes through them, it's an expression of them. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no judgment here. So, and that's the way that I believe that this program is very good in this part, because we already checked what how to handle emotions, and we checked all of these peace programs and everything in the back. So now we're beginning to co-create things.
Yes.
We're remembering that we are co-creators, and we are letting all these little kids know
Absolutely.
that actually they came and they have everything inside, and they just need to project that. Okay, great. I'm gonna just keep going. So we
Yes.
okay. So this is decorative painting.
Yes.
In some of these ones are mine, and
Wow, wow, that's nice.
yes,
You're
and
good. Yes. You
we'll
see,
show
you're the
them.
creator as well. So
I
proud
love
of
to paint.
you.
I love to paint, and I just wanted to share with you because
Ivana,
that's
wonderful.
something
That's
that
great.
I love. And decorative painting, it's mine. It's like it lets go my fantasy, it lets go all the
Yes.
colors. It just projects everything out, and also I can decorate all everything in my house and everything. So that's great for me. And I like fine arts, and
Okay.
and this is a close friend of mine. It's I have seen him since he was little. His name is Ethan Donard, and he is a very fine artist. Okay, and I have these two things that I love, these paintings. One is an oil, and the other
Mm.
one is pink pen and ink. And what I love is like how he can express everything that he can see with such detail,
So,
and also he has some other paintings in digital art form too. So
mm,
these kids, they come with everything. They are ready to the next uh, phase of the humanity, I guess.
mm, mm.
Okay, and these are ancestral symbols drawing. What can you say? As I took these from the portal, actually, if you would like to share the information.
These more from the Mayan calendar, Mayan history.
Exactly.
And the Mayan calendar, if we learn more about their community and part of their life history, you see, we get. I'm trying to show you the dots. You see, we got one dot, two dot, three dots, and
Yes.
then it continues. This is the Mayan calendar with the month. And if anybody get to visit the pyramid in Mexico, you realize it's divided into the stairs. The stairs are the I think the month, and the columns. The columns, the thickness of each two, three of them, representing the days of the year. So I think the stairs are representing the days of the year if you count them all together, and then the columns representing the month. So the way that the pyramid was constructed, and even tilted a little bit in the top, the room in the top is tilted. I don't know how many frictions, small frictions, to make the leap day. The on February.
Uh-huh.
So they're very smart people. They have done their own mathematic calculation, and they have studied the space as well. They know the stars. And if you go back into between the Mexican and the Egyptian methodology, you find a lot of similarity. And these people, they were nothing connect them to each other. If you go back thousands of years, how they do have the similar information. And if you go back to India, you realize the similar information. If you go back to different historical sites, you realize they had the same numbers, they had the same structure and figures. And this is here when we talk about secret geometric. We realize all these figures they use and studying the stars, they already knows a lot about frequency and figures and numbers
Yes,
and
that's
that.
incredible. Yes, and
Yes.
if the kids they know how to do this, to draw this, and just to
And
be
you see the
sculpt.
vivid color.
Yes,
If you see the culture, they still until now they use this bright, beautiful color in South America, and then I love
yes.
that. I really they paint the house in beautiful color,
Yes,
bright.
and I was raised because I'm from Bolivia, and I
Yes,
have seen the sun there and all these images, and I wish we could have had more of these back when I was in a
yes.
kid, in the schools, like to get to know all these. What are these for? What is the
Well,
meaning? Yes, that's interesting. Okay. Okay, so this is
mandala.
another this is
Yes, the
art
mandala.
therapy, yes, in
Yes.
mandalas and zentangles. Yes,
The mandala and the color itself, it's a color therapy with the mandala and the shape with the flower as we see it here. It can represent so many different level of consciousness. As you see here behind me,
yes,
this little thing, this is actually with the string, fine string.
uh-huh.
So they do make this picture by two different color of string connecting Earth and Jupiter. Every 70 years, they make this shape, just turning around each other.
Oh,
So just by doing that, we realize that these beautiful art created by movement, by vibration, by sometimes if you just put the music really high, you realize everything shaking and vibrating.
yes,
So it's very much the same because the frequency is there. So it
yes,
depends on what kind of music you're listening to and what kind of toning and vibration that you need for your body.
and yes, and I understand that these two, you can use them as a way of kind of meditation as well.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Zentangles, like doodling, because sometimes we doodle like in our pages while we are doing, and then that is something going on, something that you're grasping, something from the subject that you're listening to. And I understand that this is very interesting, and this is part of art therapy, along with all the painting and all the
Yes.
vibration and the colors, isn't it? And this is human mandalas that I have
Wow.
seen them
I
doing.
love that.
Yes, I love this one too. So same,
Yeah.
it's the same idea with the human mandalas. A sculpture. Oh my
Wow. Yes. Yes.
gosh!
Uh,
Look at this. They are enjoying. So this comes from pottery with kids, that they can play with clay and they can get in touch with earth. Yes,
yes.
it's a way of grounding ourselves, isn't it? Like
Absolutely. Absolutely. We
yeah,
really have to be one to feel
yeah,
everything.
exactly. So
Oh,
we're
I
gonna
love
go over
that.
the
Wow.
yes, David Michelangelo, and the other one is Michael Turner, Falcon in the Garden. It's art in the parks, I guess. Okay, so this dance is amazing as well, because in the right side, where you have all this attire, all these, it just takes you all to your roots, to your ancestors, when you learn to dance all these
All the carnivals and
yes.
all the beautiful things. The in Brazil, they're really famous on that.
Yes, in
Yes.
Bolivia too. In Bolivia,
Oh, really?
we have a carnival, and we
Yes.
have some dances. Actually, this one is from Santa Cruz, I guess. And
Oh,
then,
wow. Okay.
yes,
Beautiful.
and it's called the Tobas dance or something like that. But it's a folkloric dance that gets us in touch. And these other pictures are the circular dances,
Mm.
and then it's very interesting and healing too. I have gone to one bio dance therapy. Okay,
Mm,
so it lets us just while dancing release some emotions and things like that. And I have seen this. I have done these circular dances as well, and the Gurdjieff dances that are very interesting too. And then you can type it in the online.
mm.
Those get us in touch with our.
This is gorgeous.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful too. This is ballet and flamenco dances as well. Circus arts. You know, when we talk about renovated arts,
Mm,
we're beginning considering this arts again, like the
yes.
circus arts that I couldn't stop to put the Cirque du Soleil because I have seen it, and it kind of gives us the all this beauty and all this um, discipline, all this strength, so many things that we can enjoy with all of these.
This is really when you say that it's a group of teamwork.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
when they wanted to do the trick on you, they will make some part of the scene in here very effective, and then you wouldn't be watching the other side, and boom, it's there, and you think it's magic, but it's just a trick because they try to get your mind into one thing, and while they're doing something else, and they shift, and then oh my gosh, and you'll see it's a magical thing. And
yes,
this is really what's our mind is illusion so many times, so much, and then when we watch this circus
yes,
arts, it brings us back more to our reality, because this kind of thing can make you more aware of all the scenes all the time, and you need to
yes,
keep your eyes open to see how this trick's happening. And
yes.
so it's beautiful though. I love that.
Yes. Okay, and this I love this one because I have I
Yes.
have a thinking I was thinking about theatrical, but I was thinking about performance arts, and I'm thinking that I will miss that here, but the theatrical one that we're sharing here in the portal of Education 3000. It's incredible because it shows how to kids how to make puppets and also be the puppeteers. So here in this one says the puppeteer try to make slow movements so your
Mm,
partner can realize the movement with more precision and synchrony. So it
mm,
seems to me that it's as a part of a theatrical arts expression very important, and this is part of the 144 tools, pedagogical tools that we're sharing in the portal in the portal for Education 3000. So social art, you know, that is art that kind of shows what is happening in at the moment,
yes.
and we can express ourselves in different ways. And I love this one because it is in La Paz, and I didn't have the chance to see it. I come from Bolivia,
Mm,
but this colorful. I mean, it
beautiful
shows.
community.
Yes,
Yes.
it shows so many things about the community, and also the murals that are in each part of an expression of that community and that collective consciousness. Okay, so music. I just wanted to reach to this part because I know that you work with frequencies, and
Yes.
music and frequencies they are related. So I would like to you to explain a little about this.
The frequency with the all the instruments work in the same scale, you can say. Do re mi fa sol la si re do. I mean all these scales, and you're gonna see some of the pictures later on. I check your
Yes,
presentation. We're gonna see the different frequency on these ones. Yes,
yes,
exactly. You see the do is 396, ray is 417, mi is 526, 28, sorry, and fa is 639, sol 741, and sa c 852, and do 963. You realize from red to purple, to the end, to the light purple, the frequency goes higher. You realize that, right?
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
basically, and each color has their own vibration as well too. So we learn the chakras and what they represent, and with the color, and represent certain tones and certain vibration as well too. And I really love that. Thank you for bringing this up, actually.
Yes.
And then we realize as well too with the healing color, when we do especially pranic healing, or we do crystal healing, or we do any kind of that, we use the same color and in different chakras as well, especially now. I mean, if you're really working on something, especially, and you realize your community as needed you more than other times, you're always in your own world and you cannot do anything much with them. Try to wear more red. Try to listen to more of this frequency 396, and you realize, oh, you're more grounded, you're more ready to go, you have more this kind of push. But
Yes.
for a lot of people who will be always like they're in their own dream,
Uh-huh.
and they're always in a higher frequency. They're always connected. They don't want to be grounded. We
Uh-huh.
really we really need all
All
this
of them.
to make the beautiful symphony. We
Yes.
really need to have them all together in balance. So we cannot say that I need 417 all the time, or be in my own word all the time. We really need all this frequency together in a beautiful symphony. And we really treat doing art. We use music, so we use the notes, the frequency, and when we use the color, we're using the frequency as well, because it does represent that. And sometimes, did give this example before. The MRI machine, for the people who already have went through it and did the scan, it's very noisy, din 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 din, and it stops. Din 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 din, it stops. What the MRI machine's doing, it knocking your frequency, these frequency that we're talking about, down, and the body is trying to bring back to the position they were. So when they come back, I take this frequency from the body and I record it into the picture. This is what make the picture. So the body give me the signal back. So I cannot just give signal and not get anything back. I wouldn't have pictures. So basically the body does it automatically, but he doesn't do it with all these huge noise.
Yeah.
So there's something inside of us. I mean, really, we cannot hear everything. We think that we're hearing everything. We cannot, but if we really focus more on our emotion and our feeling, we're going to be able to expand our expectation, our vision, and not only here, we're really gonna feel way different.
Yes.
I mean,
Look,
this is really something beautiful.
okay, look, Cecilia says the
Yes,
rainbow frequency loss. It's, it's amazing. Yes,
yes.
you're right. Rainbow frequency loss.
And if you can go into each slide, each color, and see what it represents, you realize that each color represents something related to the organ as well too. Some organs have certain color, and this we learn as well from the Indian, the not the American Indian, the Far East. Culture, we realize the Ayurveda focus a lot on that, because we realize the different organs has different frequency, and they do connect with some color as well too. So between red, orange, and yellow, we realize these can be filtering the blood a lot. So
That's incredible.
the food that has this color.
Okay, this is digital art, and
Artist.
yes, and, and
Oh wow.
this one
Look.
was shared by our friend Fariha from Islam, Fariha Islam. Oh,
Yes.
she's a sweet, because she gave me all this information about digital art and
Mm.
how in these times digital art is being more I don't know how you say it, like
Yes.
evaluated. Okay, so there's lots of these digital art, and people is looking for it, and let's you will see. World's
Wow,
most expensive digital art. Okay, I'm thinking that this was
$69.3 million. Ooh.
yes, yes. No,
Yes.
it is incredible, but as we have so much technology right now, the digital artists are getting ahead as well as classical ones.
Yes.
I can say that I am the classical because for digital, it takes time. Okay, so poetry is something that I love too. Do you want to read this? Poetry is
Poetry is the language at its most
that,
distilled and most powerful. That's true.
yes, that's true.
If you light, learn how to love.
In your
If
beauty,
you're light, oh, I'm sorry. In your light, I'll learn how to love. In your beauty, how to make poem, and your dance inside my chest where no one see you, but sometimes I do, and that sight become this art.
that's
Rumi.
what
Oh,
that's what we
okay.
were saying. That's an expression, art is an expression from everything inside. So read this one, and I'm thinking that we're almost to the end of the presentation, and this is
Prac
the
Practice any art, music, singing, dancing, acting, drawing, painting, sculpture, poetry, fiction, essays, reportage, no matter how well or badly, not to get money and fame, but to experience, because to find out what inside you you make your soul grow. That's really what we're talking about here. We really need to
yes,
take it out of our chest, out of my throat, out of my mind, and put it there. It released me. It's empty. This kind of empty the pressure on me, and you realize that a lot of people there wanted to see your art because they do feel and think like you, and this kind of collective consciousness, it's what makes us really go in a higher conscious.
yes, yes, you're right. So what we're gonna do next thing is talk about neuroaesthetics a little. I'm gonna just go ahead and read it, and then we're gonna comment some about it.
Okay.
Neuroaesthetics was defined by Zemir Zeki, a
Uh,
neuroscientific researcher.
uh,
Neuroaesthetics is the scientific study of the neural basis of how contemplation and creation of a work of art or any object that can give rise to aesthetic judgments can affect your brain. And this
Alrighty.
one, the medial orbitofrontal cortex.
Yes.
Could you read that one? It's
The medial orbit frontal cortex is the region of the brain activate when we appreciate art and beauty.
mhm.
This is the region. Every time you think, you just put your hand there without even noticing, and then you
Exactly.
see the third eye. But it is really what they this was done with what we call it eye MRI. Eye,
Yes,
it's functional MRI.
yes,
So functional MRI, where we give the person certain thing to think about, where we're scanning their brain, and then we see where the information come from.
uh-huh. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what it explains to everything to us. It
Yes.
explains everything to me. So
Yes.
okay, so that is what we're talking about neuroaesthetics. That it's a new science, and that related to the first thing were aesthetics, isn't it? Related to what do you like, what you don't like, and everything. But now you know what is happening inside your brain when you like something. Actually,
Yes.
isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is saying thank you to
They
all
were
of you.
saying the brain of the certain people who were really make a big difference in our life, like Newtons, or any famous actors. This gray wave that we see in the picture, they say
Uh-huh.
it's more concentrated.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So when we grow older, this wave really shrink, not shrink, it's like disappear a little bit, and people goes into an Alzheimer process.
Oh my God.
So and I was we can talk a lot about this subject, but
Yes.
Alzheimer comes from from so many different things, and we can talk about that later.
Mm, okay, good.
For that
So
now, yes.
thank you to all the videos and artwork that we showed today.
And I
And
just really wanted to tell people, if you really think that we tap into some information and you didn't have enough explanation for it, please feel free to talk to us, to send us message on these videos, or
yeah,
email us, and we're really willing to let you know all about this subject, because we really want you to be a part of this creation as well, and really all what we really need to get our conscious together as a collective consciousness to the higher level.
yes, yes. Thank you. And here you have the email.
Email,
So
yes,
you
thank
can
you.
always go to education3000.info,
Absolutely.
and all the programs are going to be recorded in the in our page of YouTube as well. And you just go and tap on them. Okay.
Yes.
So what we're going to be talking right now is about something that you love and we love. So it's sacred geometry.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be going through this. Please take a seat, have a sip of water,
Yes.
and then
And that's
so
that's this is what really is gonna change your perspective from what we're seeing here into a different level.
yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you listen to this second part of our program, which is a little longer today, but please stay tuned. It's gonna be very important. And I'm just going to say hi to one friend that we have here. It's Natalia.
Hi, Natalia.
Hi,
Thank
Natalia.
you for listening to us. I really wish that you enjoyed it.
Yes, and she says like, "Hey, thank you, very interesting." And I'm
And
thinking
thank
that she had more. She said like, "Good morning, Kausar and Giovanna. How about crop circles? We're gonna be talking about crop
Oh
circles
yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
and a little
Actually,
more."
I learned about the crop circles in the ARE from what's his name, John Bangkok. He,
Uh-huh.
uh, he does have a couple books. I think I have them here. I will be able to share it with you. Crop circle is real, and it's not a man made. I can tell you that.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good to know. Okay, so what we're going to begin sharing is our universal geometry.
Okay.
Uh, this is our PowerPoint. We already went over these ones. You know that we always look for a fulfilled and happy human being.
Absolutely.
And yes, and these are all the places where Education 3000, along with Pedagogy 3000, it's spreading in the world. It's a very big net of synergy that we're looking forward to transformations of in education. Okay, towards peace
I
always.
I
Okay.
remember this these bottom pictures when Naomi came to us. We bring the toothpicks. You know,
Mhm.
they're very tiny, small. We give
Uh-huh.
them six toothpicks and we ask them to do three triangles. They cannot do
Oh,
anything
for the
with it.
kids. Yes, yes,
So
yes,
unless
yes,
they do think three dimension,
yes.
they will be able
And
to do it.
yeah, and it's part of the research of our international institute,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes.
Because
So we
yes,
created so many beautiful games together, and we will. I mean, this really bringing the consciousness way high. It's an amazing thing.
yes, beautiful. So we're gonna be listening more about that. So the topic for today is universal
Oh my
geometry.
gosh, this amazing pictures. Yeah, you see the
Yay!
shapes, all these beautiful shapes.
Okay, would you like to read this? And so
The universal geometry is the language and steel of the creation, together with light and sound. It confer beauty, rhythm, and harmony to the multi-dimension universe. Oscar Senmachi,
yes,
2015.
Oscar Semanchis, he's a quantum physicist as well, investigator, researcher. So, and Noemi just has much of the information. Oh, sorry. Okay, much of the information that. So, if you would like to talk to us about more about geometry, sacred geometry here.
Yes, yes. You see the different shape. We're gonna go over each single one and tell you exactly what it means, right?
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so educating with universal geometry contributes to the foundations of a new society based on natural patterns, universal laws, and the expansion of consciousness. It's been said by Oscar Simanchi as well. So I love this one, and I know that you may like to explain to us just
Pythagoras credit with being the father of music and also the father of geometric and math, said if human would unreveal the relationship between math and sound, then it will discover the mystery of the universe. And this, he really knows know it all. And I mean, you would know what he means by that by the end of the session, because he really was able to determine all these shapes and all these connection between math and the creator of
yes.
this beautiful journey of us. It's a phenomenal.
Okay,
The,
it says
the harmonic connection between math and sound is established in what is called sacred geometric or quantum geometric or universal geometric, which means sacred measure of the earth. And classical traditional tradition, there is a belief that there is an invisible blueprint for high word that exists in everything that exists in the physical level, that comes from the highest consciousness. This is what exactly I was saying,
yes,
to the level of energy and vibration that become a vibrational matrix. You know, everybody, I guess, watched the Matrix movie. That is in Asian tradition was called the
net, the
net.
net.
Yes.
Yes. And this is being taken from Dr. Robert J. Gilbert of Vesica
Okay.
Institute of Holistic Studios.
Wow, this is really beautiful. The
Yes,
Asian scholar discovers specific geometric shape that seems to be interwoven everywhere in the net. Five of these form are the platonic solid that fit perfectly in the sphere. Yes, so you see, this is the star. We call this as well the Star of David. I was going to show you here something I talked to you earlier. Um, David Stewart. I show you this book before, I think. Um, he drew this in the back of his book. You see this,
uh-huh. Yes.
and this is like four, not six. Okay, and this is represent the serpent. And why I'm showing you that, I just wanted to tell you this. When we draw it like that, it's like the first dimension. But
What
when
is
we see the top, when we see the second drawing in the bottom, you see the second picture, right?
yes,
The second picture represent the drawing in one level. The first picture represent the movement of it, right?
the net, yes, the movement in the net. Uh-huh.
The movement in that. So if everything vibrating, we create certain movement, so we create different shape. But the first the so basically when we're neutral, you can see the second shape. When we're moving, you see this the first one. And this is represent God, and God at the speed of light.
And let
So
me let me take a little the presentation out so you can show the books. So that way we can. Okay, would you show the books again? Yes, that would
this
be
is,
great.
it says God of the speed of light.
Not at the speed of
they,
light. Great.
they do talk about the connection of the chemistry with the physics
Uh huh.
and the math, and
Okay.
how everything connected to each other. And when we you remember, I remember that you love that word, we're
Yeah.
all one.
Ah, yeah,
And
yeah,
why
yeah,
we're
yeah.
all one? Because
Yeah.
um, me and you connected in a different higher level. So
Exactly.
this this serpent,
Uh-huh.
it represents the DNA. So in old days when we used to see it, we thought it's just a snake,
Uh-huh.
but it's
Okay.
not. So when they drew these ones, the thing that I was telling you about on this book, when they drew this is
Uh-huh.
physics.
Yes.
They drew it like a 5 star, and then he
Uh-huh.
was trying to see the structure of the element, and
Uh-huh.
he was okay. The structure is missing something, and then he drew the snake, and he put the tail into the mouth, so he makes the
Ah,
circle, and he realized and the connection between the element is vibration.
okay. That
And most of the I should tell you what's the who said that, because it's written here somewhere. uh, David Stewart wrote about this. Robert Minner,
Robert
uh,
Miller.
Connie Adams. Uh,
Okay.
he said he dreamed about it. He was thinking there's something missing, and he kept going back and forth and trying to calculate all that. And then at one time he dreamed about the snake, and he couldn't remember why he dreamed about the snake. He realized and he
Yes.
realized the vibration and the connection with the physics and chemistry.
Okay, let's continue.
Let's
Okay.
continue.
Yes. Okay. So everything that we are checking is like in the triad, isn't it? Like
Yes,
sound, then love, sound, and feeling, then
yes,
wisdom, light, and thinking, and then will, movement, and form is the
this is beautiful.
creation. Yes.
This is
So
beautiful.
to do.
Amazing.
Yes, and actually we're heading to all of these transformation in
And you see,
education.
they didn't put wisdom on the top. They put love on the top.
Yes, love on the top. Exactly.
Yes.
Love on the top. And everything is related love, sound, and or feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
And feel it.
And so
Exactly.
in that way we create, we project through our will,
Absolutely.
through our form, through the movement. So and I love this triad to begin with for education. It's incredible. So universal geometry is a meta language. Would you like to go
Goes
ahead?
beyond words.
Yeah. It works
Uh,
as
and actually, this picture is we call it the flower of life, and you see the little ones in the middle. It's the
yes.
seed of life. Uh,
Ah,
and we're gonna explain this on the next presentation, I guess.
uh-huh.
So we
Okay.
can we can go
Yes,
faster.
we have some images, and this is the same that we were talking about in neurostatics.
Mm,
You know, like how we grasp all sacred geometry through our third eye level. You know, where it's
yes,
shown like one,
yes.
and then go
Very,
to
it's very important to see the pituitary glands and the pineal glands. The pineal glands, right, and it's very small, like smaller than the chickpeas. The
here.
pituitary gland is a chickpeas, and the other one is like very much smaller. And
Yes,
these ones has the whole effect on our body
yes.
because it's the antenna
Uh-huh.
with the
That's
vortex.
great. And that's the way that we just get all the images and the
Exactly.
geometric
Yes.
sacred geometry in us. Okay.
And then if you go back with just 1 second, if you realize we have the shape, what they call the R,
Uh-huh.
that's one. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know. No, maybe not. Can you see it?
It's yours. Let me take this from. Okay. Now,
You see this?
no, just put it a little more. No. Okay.
Oh,
A little
yes.
up. Yeah.
Okay. This is very much the same like in the
Oh
brain.
yes, yes. It's the Horus eye,
The
isn't it?
horoscope.
Like the pineal gland.
Fine.
Yes,
Yes.
I know.
You see,
Yes.
you can
It
see it. It's very much the same shape.
is the shape which is in the middle.
And
Yes.
they say if you wear it, it will give you protection. So I just wear it no matter what. And
That's good.
I get disease as well. I love disease.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
okay, next one.
Universal geometry is a multi-level pedagogical tool that interacts at the following levels: cognitive, technical,
Okay.
emotional, intuitive, bioreconnection, pure awareness, and love. Would you kind of tell us a little bit more?
Uh, you see they cut in certain meridians and you go back between circles and square, and each one of these has different meaning for each diagram that we call. If you realize that we use this a lot uh, in church or in buildings and stuff.
Yes, yes,
So,
okay.
they say the dome
Uh-huh.
itself can create a lot of intuitions, and so people go there and pray all the time, and then you feel this shape kind of itself. It's
Uh-huh.
way more effective than just a square itself, or the and some old houses, and especially in maybe in different structure in different places all around the world, you see all the arch windows.
Yes.
They don't have them square like now. And when we go with a different structure of each one of these, you're gonna realize why they used to make them arch.
Yes, yes. Okay, so let's go back to the Platonic
Yes,
solids and their meaning. So here are
we get the
then
water, the fire.
the fire is the tetrahedron.
Yes,
Yes, and then look at these shapes, tetrahedron shapes, but along with fractals, isn't it?
yes, it's so beautiful.
It looks like it is that. Okay, this is the cube, the hexahedron, and
Yes,
the meaning
and it's air. It's the meaning. It's air.
earth. Uh-huh. And look at this building. And
Oh
all the
wow.
all the buildings here in United States are kind of
Oh, really?
the square flat roof octahedron, and this is uh, air. And look at all of these beautiful
Wow.
buildings, beautiful
The
pyramids
museum.
buildings. Yes,
Yes.
and I'm thinking that one is in the Louvre
Yeah, museum.
museum. Icosahedron, meaning is water, and then there's some other buildings, and I just put the buildings here, even if that we are not talking about yet about the architecture, but which is
Mm.
a part of the art too. But we're going to talk about it separately, and then it's in the lecture hall. So
Wow, in Doha.
yeah, and
Okay.
this is dodecahedron, and
Yeah.
it also has a building lecture hall of Well Corner Medical College in Qatar. Uh-huh.
Mm.
And actually, you may want to explain a little bit more about the DNA geometry of the dodecahedron.
When we get the five sides, between the five and the six sides, it's the five is infinity,
Uh-huh.
and the six is you can limit yourself up a little bit. So with the five, you can do the shape to the infinity, and that's why the DNA, they call it DNA as with this dodecahedron.
Yes,
Uh, yeah, because
yes,
it goes to the infinity. We have trillions of cells in our body, and it always recover and I mean regrow. Yeah, growth new ones, so it never end
yes. And I
until.
read that.
And even if we pass away, and we think that we can carry our DNA for the next generation.
Yes, and you know that they talk about this dodecahedron. The meaning for this is the ether, isn't it? The ether,
Yes,
and
yes,
and they didn't talk about this very in kind of public, because as this is the essence that kind of
uh,
animates the
yeah.
other ones. So
People think that there is an empty space. There is no empty space,
yes,
and this is what we call the ether. The ether, it's something that we cannot see, but it's there.
exactly,
So
exactly.
so there is so many frequency present there, and we still, until now, they used to know to connect to each other through different ether frequency, with each other from way long before we even realize, the history still until now missing a lot of information on that subject.
Yeah.
Because the pyramid itself, they were the energy tower connecting the earth with the frequency that like the wi-fi now, or like the electricity. When we used to go inside the places in Egypt, there were so many places where they drew on the walls and beautiful art in the wall, writing history about each person inside their grave, you know.
Yes.
And I was like, you walk inside this place in very small and narrow places that you barely can walk inside, and then when you get in there, they have a huge stone. It's one piece of stone, one piece of stone. They you cannot even get it through the door. How they get that stone through the door? And this is the first question you ask yourself. It's a huge stone. I mean, no way that they will able to get it through the door. First of all, second of all this beautiful painting, how they can draw it inside this beautiful tunnel with no light. If they have that Porsche, that torch, whatever they call it, they used to use it, or the light they used to have it. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna be a lot of uh, black, material all over the wall. You will see it from the torch, but there's nothing. It's beautiful, clean. They used to have light. I'm sure they have light, but how we can prove this? We don't have a proof. This
Yes.
kind of material that we're talking about today can tell us a lot more from the thing that we really don't know much about it yet. We just start to
Yes.
think about it this way now.
Yes, you're right. In Okay, so here we have the platonic solids and with all the meanings, the keyword,
You
and
see what we're talking about, the pyramid. We know that they created the pyramid to connect us together. This is a fact, and the energy that goes through the pyramid. It's very much like they say here love. They present love, which is beautiful. The hexahydrant is the square. You realize all our houses and all the places that we live into are square, right? And
yes.
this is what we really need in our life. We really need balance, balance, balance.
Uh-huh.
And then when you go to a different shape and you realize above and below, and this is what Hermes used to Hermes study, the eight triangles face, and this is where the octahedron we call air. Hermes talk about above and below, and he put the two pyramid in the top of each other,
Uh-huh.
and this is what they make them eight. And this is where we get the wisdom. The wisdom when we realize the purpose of life is
The
from thinking
connection
above and below.
above and
Exactly.
below. Uh-huh.
Dodecahedron, 12 pentagon. The pentagon, this is what really we're talking about, the DNA. And this is what where you see the five corners on each one of these. And this is goes to the infinity, and it's violet, and it's the higher consciousness, and
Uh-huh.
connect with the planet Earth. Exactly, it goes to the infinity. The DNA, it's very much it's the fingerprint of the soul, or of the planet, you can say. um, Isohedron is 20 triangle face, is the water, blue, cosmic consciousness and expansion of the consciousness for sure. And the sphere, which is the circle, universe of the energy, orange, golden, which is like the sun. We can say pure consciousness, and it's a blessing. So the blessing, this more in our tradition, and most of the study that I have tapped into, they don't use the golden color much because they think it's really secret color, secreted.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes if you're not really clean enough and you use this kind of healing with golden color, which is the it's not really orange, it's gold. And it can really harm the person if you're not really using it properly, because it's really the higher consciousness. So most of the healer use a lot of green and blue, most of the healer, and it's very safe to use that green for balance and blue for higher consciousness. And in between you can use all the other color for sure. But if
Yes.
you're really practicing healing, we always try to stay away from golden color because it's for higher consciousness, and sometimes the people not ready for that, and you don't want to really harm them sometimes.
Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting.
Yes,
I love all these colors. The idea
yes,
that we are using color and you're using frequency in your body. It makes me choose differently. Even my clothes.
yes, exactly, exactly. Try to change. Sometimes you stuck to certain, especially for the people who work in places, they have to wear uniform. I
Yes.
tell them to wear under different color underwears. You know?
Yes,
Yes,
exactly, exactly. Here, this is one.
beautiful
Yes,
art,
this
beautiful,
is what
beautiful.
you worked, and then what the kids did, and then
Yes.
you can do all these platonic solids. And what do they do, Kausar? Let me ask you, because I'm thinking that
Yeah.
many people would have this question.
I was thinking.
If you have a shape in the house, it provides what you were reading in that chart. Like, okay, if you have a
You
Dobby
know, we
cathedral.
use in a feng shui. I think I have the book here as well.
Uh-huh.
In feng shui, we study directions, and each direction as well represent different shape because the
Uh-huh.
direction represent the house as well. So you got room for you to sleep, you get room for you to cook, you get room for you to gather. They do direct the shape with the rooms as well too. So you cannot live in a shape
Pyramid.
of
In a
triangle
pyramid.
shape because it's
Uh-huh.
gonna give you a lot of energy and you're gonna stay awake all day, all night.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay.
so they try, these kind of shape are really creating a lot of frequency on us without even noticing. And sometimes when we talk about the pole shift, when we talk about the earth, meridians of the
Uh-huh.
earth, and sometimes too some of these meridians has smaller meridians and have a different activities underground. And if your house is in certain meridians, sometimes you feel like irritated all the time and you don't like to come home,
Yes.
blah blah blah. So we use this shape to attract this frequency in certain places and not to get it into your room or and we use art, we use water, we use sometimes we use even I'm sure we're not going to use fire, but you can use a painting, yellow painting or the fire pictures on side of it, something to represent that corner to cool it off if it's
Uh-huh.
really sometimes like they say the sunset, we really
Uh-huh.
all love the sunset pictures, so they say don't put the sunset pictures to the north
Uh-huh.
wall in your house. Don't put it in the north wall. I was like, why? I mean, it looks perfect here. She said, no, no, no. This is to the north. Don't put it there because the sunset is the ending of your life,
Day of your
the
day.
ending of your day. So, and it's the sun rise from the north, from wherever the east toward the north. And then they were like, you got to put this somewhere where at really the end of the journey, not the start of the journey.
Very
So
interesting. Very
don't put
interesting.
the sunset in your house. Put the
Oh,
sunrise. I was like, you're not gonna tell the sunrise from the sunset. You can make it both, you know. So
yes.
we argue about things. Sometimes we don't know really what can represent, but we have, let's say, the water fountain. We have the water fountain. You can put it if you have an area with the higher and fire, or
Yes.
you would get everything in your house all red, 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 red. You realize like there's
Yes.
so much fire in your house, and
I
you don't want to go home and feel all the time like you're rocking star. So you need to calm down a little bit. You put the fountain in there, and you realize like the energy went down a little bit, and then you're very much in balance. So you need to create balance with all that. This is what mainly what it is.
That's great. That's a very good. Oh, so these ones are some templates that you can find online if you have kids or you want to
Yes,
get the
you
kids
can
to
create
build
the
them.
3D shape.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you can just create them. You just put them as you were mentioning, knowing where they can go, knowing their meanings. You can put them in their places where they are
Yes,
meant to
and
be.
especially use the color as well too.
Yes, exactly. So this is the only polyhedron,
Uh,
the mother
what
star.
we did, you put them inside of each other. So you create each one and then you add into it. We with Naomi, we have done recycling from the recycling material. We brought the newspaper, we rolled the newspaper like a stick,
Uh-huh.
and then we were able to do the shapes
Yes,
together.
and
It's
also
like
you can do that.
taping them.
Yes, you can do that with straws too. There are some
Yes,
sturdy
yes,
straws.
exactly.
The ones
Yes,
for they're not recycled. I understand, but some of them they were built like that too. That's great. So now here, if this is in some
wow,
parks,
that's very very nice. Yes,
that's very nice for the kids to play. And this is part of architecture that I just took from the program that we're going to do with architecture, bioarchitecture, and
oh
biourbanism, that where we
yes,
take all these shapes to our parks and we take all these shapes to our buildings and construction. Okay, so you can see here some domes in some buildings, and I can imagine the energy that they may have in
yes,
these buildings, isn't it?
absolutely.
Okay, so these are the Archimedean solids, and what they are just trunked shapes, isn't it, from the Platonic solids? Um,
Yes,
okay, so let's
the
go to the
flower of
flower of life.
life.
Yes,
uh, the flower of life is the it's the main structure of all the living things, everything. And I mean, and if you see every single petal connected to the second one, and it's creating another flower there. So that's why we call it the one right in the middle. We call the seeds of life, and this can go further and further and further to the infinity as well.
yes. Let me go over all the other shapes. This is the fruit of
Oh,
life,
yes.
and this is the fruit of life, and the fruit of life goes also is included in the flower of life, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yes, it is part of it.
It's part of it. And this is the
This is the Metatron cubes. Oh, this is has the circle as you see, and it has the triangles and has the it has the more than five, six things all in ones, and this is what we call it sometimes the markaba. You're gonna see that later in the next
yes,
picture, and this has really powerful energy into it.
yes, I know.
People
And
make a necklace and they like to wear it as a necklace.
yes,
And
so you have it
like,
in necklace, and you can
yes,
also begin to draw it. There's
yes,
so many things
it
online
has
that
a
you
lot
can.
of power in it just by wearing it.
Yes. Okay, these are
That's
fractals.
all.
Could you
Yes,
explain?
basic pattern that repeated itself over and over again in such a way that you can't look it at any scale and see the same pattern exactly.
And then you know what I did try with these fractals to explain the fractals to my
Mm.
kids with broccoli. With just
Ah,
cutting broccoli, you just grab a broccoli, and I just said, okay, look at this. Here's a broccoli. Okay, you take a branch in this. It's pretty much same as this one. Okay, and
yes,
then take a little bit, and then we try to to go into the little one, so
yes,
they could see and they could grasp what we're meaning about fractals and how we can stay as above as below, like
yes.
like when we're talking about how we are created here, how we are here. Okay, so now and this is also about fractals. Fractals bar Benoit. Um, I don't know what is. Let me check. Okay, this is another pedagogical tool about fractals that
Okay.
you can find in our portal.
Okay.
And the portal actually, what I when I'm talking about it right now, it's a place where you're going to be able to go there to take a look, and there's so much information about tools regarding these pedagogical tools, and also information for this transformation in education that is being created for you just to go there and to share information mainly. So if you go there and take a look at it, that would be great. Here is another picture for the
This is
Metatron
the
cube.
Metatron. You see the flower of life in there. You see the seeds of life. You see the pyramid. You see the star. You see the star of David. You see? Can
Yes,
you see the dark and blue and in the middle of each other?
yes,
So we see all the shape in one, and they call it Markaba as well too. They use it to in certain meditation.
here. Here is the same thing, the Platonic
Yeah.
solids and the fruit of life, everything
So
included in.
all these shapes that I was telling you about, they're all in one.
Yes.
Metatron cubes. Yes.
And this is the seed of life, which is
It's
in
the
the
seed of
middle,
life.
as you mentioned, in the middle of the flower of life, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. And it goes on and on forever. Tree of life. They
Yes.
do use this in the Jewish,
Tradition, yes.
tradition, and they do put wisdom right in the middle of that seed.
Yes.
They put love in the top, as we were talking about this, and
Exactly.
they do represent each one of these as well with the different what we call kindness symbols that we can call. So until they're all connected to each other somehow, you cannot do one without doing the other in order to have the tree of life. So you
Yes.
really need to be kind. You really need to be nice, and all
Yes.
that.
There you
See,
are.
yeah. You see, it's all connected. Each one of these are connected to each other. There is no way that you can let go.
And
Uh,
you can have the kids build this one as
yes,
you see in the
yes, I
picture.
love that.
Yes,
Yes.
I love it too because it kind of shows you in a
I
3D
do
way.
think that I have something here. I'm not sure where is it now. Okay, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So this is the Merkabah you're
Mm,
talking.
yes.
This is what you said. Like it is, or is this a electromagnetic field that it's
Uh,
that is
when we say Markaba here and exactly the pictures, and I really admire the teacher that she used to teach me meditation on that level. Uh, we do have a seven chakra, as we know. So the seventh is the crown, so we don't count. So we have three in the body in the top and three in the bottom. So from the diaphragm down is the other three, and from diaphragm up the higher three. So if we put these in two different triangles up and down, when we connect the top three with the bottom three, we create the Hermes wisdom. We get the Hermes wisdom. So the Hermes wisdom is the top and the bottom connected. And then we still, if we're not connecting these two with each other, so the soul cannot connect with the body clearly and be balanced, we're not going to be able to go in a higher consciousness. So this is what takes us, and this is what the markaba really represent there.
that's interesting. That's what I always wanted to find about. Okay,
Yes.
the thesis. This
Oh,
is
this is beautiful. I love that.
yes,
She took the symbol of Jesus
the flower of
of
life,
Christ.
and then yes,
From this. Yeah, that's really what it is. So it complete each other. Every circle, we're all connected to each other with all this seeds.
yes, and it has a little to the meaning. It's a little the meaning. It's related to what why we have as pedagogy 3000 or education 3000 with trios. It's related
Mhm.
to that, to the symbols of creation as well.
So with this picture, you see most of the cars, they put this sign on the back of the cars,
Yes,
and,
yes,
and they're most of them are Christians, and they wanted to have this symbol to represent their Christianity.
yes,
But from my point of view, we took a lot from the secret geometric into all the religions.
yes,
And especially
exactly.
sometimes when we talk about Star of David, they do believe it's for the Jewish people. It's not only for the Jewish people; it's for
Yes,
all over the
it's
people.
for all. Yes,
As much as for this beautiful sign, this sign represents basically the common ground for all of us.
yes,
This is basically the common ground. And then when we talk about Jesus, we know he was love, and he
exactly.
always talk about forgiveness and love. So if we really think about the flower of life is love, so and we think about Jesus, this is a beautiful thing. Why not?
Yes,
I mean, all religions are amazing if we really can take the best out of it, and leave the what they really disconnect us.
yes.
Basically.
Oh, I love it. So many things to say about the picture. Yeah. So this one, I'm
Yeah,
thinking that it's a video that you can take a look. We will probably won't be able to make it today, but I just want to
yeah,
share this
yeah.
with you guys.
We're taking so much with that. I told you
Yes,
this
yes,
gonna be forever.
yes, exactly.
The Fibonacci is the
Fibonacci.
sequence of numbers, and
Yes,
it goes forever and ever and ever to the infinity. And the Fibonacci is in every single creation, in every single thing. Oh, I love this
yes,
picture actually. It's 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and goes to forever.
yes,
And the 144 is these numbers are one of the secret numbers that we call it in math. And you know what? We can have one special session for only math. So
yes.
we're gonna go on these
Yeah,
numbers. It's
yes,
we got number 108 and 144. We got the 526. We got the 417, 426. So all these numbers, we call them secret numbers. We call the pi. We call the golden ratio.
exactly. Here you have
Oh,
the division, and then you have
exactly.
the
I was just
yes,
talking about pi. Yes,
yes,
exactly.
and
Uh,
you found the breathing number like to get by dividing the number
yes.
between the other one, isn't it? Like and I'm
Uh,
amazed.
I have a friend. He already know how to count these with other calculators. He will tell you all the infinite numbers. He
Uh-huh.
says his mind. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, he's amazing.
You know,
Yeah,
I am mesmerized when I see all these pictures from nature. And you know, if we would have more time, I would put all
proportion.
the pictures from flowers and everything. Now I'm taking pictures of flowers and just expanding them and see all
Yes.
of these sequences. It's
Mm.
incredible. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And you
So,
can go with your higher consciousness above all this. It's beautiful.
and you
And the
know,
Fibonacci, if you watch Jane 108, we mentioned his name before, and I really love and adore this guy. He has so many videos online. You can learn a lot about this topic actually from him, and he does give classes online too.
huh?
I did
Yes,
some classes with him. He does have a special video about the Fibonacci, and why there's two men in the picture, and what's the difference between the two. And he will tell you exactly the correct measurement and the infinity uh, of the uh, of the vision. Uh,
yes,
Beautiful. You gotta watch it because
yes, and
we cannot do everything on 2 hours.
yes, we cannot. We're just mentioning in Jane 108, and then they
Yes,
have many
and then
programs.
you will be able to watch that.
Yes, it's very interesting. And the Vitruvian Man as well. You know, all
Yeah.
of these sequences, they also apply to the human
He
body. So,
counts in various and degrees. Leonardo da Vinci, the picture, and between the open arms, up and straight, and the different between each picture and
uh,
each move, and he can tell you what he means by that to the I mean, for the creation. He
yes,
did have a great message for us,
yes,
but
yes.
We didn't know. We just look. We thought it's just a picture on a person raising his arm a bit. You know.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
So this one is gonna be. We're gonna show this one for the end. So stay for the end because this one is beautiful and it's related to the Fibonacci patterns.
Yes. Yes.
And so the math symbols that you were asking me for, like
Yes.
mathematics is. Do you want to read it and then?
It's an exact science where there is no margin for errors, no matter how minutes. Mathematics is generally an abstract study of space, quantity, change, and structure. It is a science that revolves, that is true or that is false. With the use of formulation and pattern in cosmology, not cosmetology. Use of math symbols is differentiate with the numerology, wherein the forms deal with cosmic material mathematical symbol, while the later deal with the study of numbers influence on one life.
Yes, that's what you said. Like for math or for sacred geometry, we will.
I don't know if any of us remember these symbols. Okay, 28 symbol. Yeah, the symbols in the top.
I'm sorry,
You know.
sorry.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
Uh-huh. So yes, those are pi and infinite and add and
Yes,
okay, some of them. And those are used very
and
like
the
in
Fibonacci there too.
yes,
Yes.
every day.
Yeah.
We're learning those at school. Okay, these symbols for
Positive
positive
energy.
energy.
I mean, when we talk about positive energy, we're gonna see all these signs. And then exactly, we see a lot of people wear these kind of things too, as well too. And we know Om is the 423, is the balance
Uh-huh.
for the energy balance. The flower of life give us a lot of energy as well, and the Taurus is the movement of the flower of life. Okay, and
Oh,
then you
oh,
see the certain structure. You realize the
yes, yes.
Hydra
Uh-huh.
is the basically is the flower of the flower that you draw. What we call it, the lotus flower,
Yes.
represent the wisdom, and then
Oh,
this is what they try to represent here on certain pictures.
and also it represents the our chakra from the crown, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So okay, let's go over the other ones.
More pictures.
Yes, the
Yeah.
triple moon, the fractal. So
The Enki, we see this a lot in Egypt, and then we they call it the key of life, because it's when they talk about the secret geometric structure of it as well too. They say it has 24 corners of it, and each corners, if you add the numbers to it, it comes to the infinity symbol as well too. So everything has different meaning. And the spiral represent a lot of the energy of the planets and Earth and the frequency of our body as well too. And just to remind you of one thing here, because there's so much to cover. The spiral flow of the vibration is always clockwise. Everything
okay.
moves clockwise. So and so we see it in spiral, and then if you really sometimes listen to the astrology, you hear them talking about certain planet retrograde. It goes at the opposite of the flow of the all the planets.
Oh, thank you for letting me know. I just always heard that Mercury
Yes.
retrograde.
So retrograde is sometimes can influence us with the negative flow, and this is what
Oh,
happened to our energy when we are off balance. So
uh-huh.
the chakra retrograde, the chakra turned the opposite side, and we cannot really move with the flow any longer. So we really have to have the spiral always spinning in the correct position flow to be in contact with this beautiful energy to
So
thin.
so what in these symbols helps us get us in balance again.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I wanted to find out about this last symbol, this swastika, because they are it has a connotation that it's not very nice, like
So
so
because they use this at the time of Hitler, maybe.
yes, exactly.
so
That's
so
what I was saying. That
yeah,
actually it's an ancient symbol. Yes,
it doesn't have to do anything with them.
yes, exactly, exactly.
And which not they do think that this is kind of protection, but yeah, I mean, when you think about something and you don't want to lose it, you try to do the nod around. I remember my grandmother used to do that. She used to pray, and she used to do some little nod with her scarf, or with her, even hair, whatever the tie of her hair. And she will tell you, you're gonna, because there were no phone in that time. I was so little. And she said, oh, it's gonna take you like 1 hour to get home. I will take off the knot as soon as you get home. So she will put like some kind of we think it's a witchcraft. It's not. It's people used to protect themselves by this kind of thing, and they do believe it.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yes.
part of their culture.
Yes. I'm thinking that it's in the belief that we have we give the energy. Everything
Yes,
to me is intention, like
exactly.
any kind of symbol or any of these. Okay, this
And
is alchemical symbols.
these are the symbol they used to use from way way long before, and we see this in all different places all over the world. I mean, how do they know these things were the same in Mexico, in Egypt, and all over the place? They use the same sign. How they do know that?
Yes.
This is
How?
that's really we have to ask ourselves. I mean, there were no technology that time. This is what we think, but it was because all these signs, even when they were trying to discover the planets over the telescope and all that, they find the same design, the same shape. It's something always bring joy to my life when I talk about this, because I always think that we really missing a lot and we really need to tap into all that. So air, look, air, water, earth, copper, fire, and then when you get the fire with the water together, you create something better.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah, it's
And
beautiful.
yes, and we have seen this. I mean, the only thing is that we do not know what they mean. And now with this chart, we can be able to know actually.
Phosphorus, copper.
Yes.
I mean, every single thing has a shape. And then, and I talk about, when we talk about the holistic medicine, I tell them a lot about the structure about tell them a lot about the structure of the element combined in the medication. And this is where we get the side effect of the medication, because we change the structure. When you change the structure, you change the frequency. When you change the structure, you change the vibration. So the medication doesn't work anymore the same way that when the element does. So we don't want it to change the structure when we take certain elements into intake and into our body. And this is really what the alchemist is.
It is for yes.
Olive oil. So you just need to drink olive oil the way it is. You don't want to take it saturated, or you don't want to. So the gold. There is so many beautiful symbol. Iron.
Yeah.
For, yeah.
Okay, so the way that it helps for education, all of this universal quantum geometry, how does it help in education? It just wakes up the right hemisphere in the brain, activates
Yes.
the left hemisphere, connects and harmonizes the two cerebral hemispheres. So it connects with telluric.
Exactly. That's what I was telling you. The beautiful mandala. When they paint, when they work with color, when they start doing this beautiful shape,
Yeah,
this shape itself is gonna give them this kind of energy that we're talking about.
yeah. and decreases the attention deficit that it's so much said lately, isn't it? Promotes mental visualization and facilitates the frontal lobe activation, which is very helpful for education, for learning. So it favors understanding of universal laws, which is why we're here, and what laws apply to this plane that we are living on Earth. So it teaches mathematical principles, increases creativity, it develops visual, spatial intelligence. Great. It activates the pineal gland that you were talking about, makes easy to reach the alpha and theta waves
Yes,
and
yes,
gamma waves.
exactly.
Yes, it
Yes.
opens the psychic, intuitive, and spiritual field. Applies to both education and health. Expands awareness. Connects to the earth. Complex.
This is
Uh,
beautiful.
yes, and actually works in the complex thymus, heart, and brain, isn't it? And
Yes.
okay. So, and I understand that this connection is so important for us, like the connection between our heart and our brain.
And on physics, the heart is the center of the energy beam, boom, 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 boom. Every
Yes,
time it bumps and it creates energy
yes.
flow. While the brain is the feeding, is the generator.
Oh, okay.
So we cannot get the heart to pump without the generator. So it has to pump. So really, people in all days they thought if the heart stopped, the person died. And now we realize that no, the brain if the brain stopped, the body, I mean, it goes away.
And is
But
this electromagnetic field
yes,
that you see there,
electromagnetic field, yes.
does it
And that
have something?
if you remember, we talked about this before. The fuel of the body is the hormones,
Yes,
and the hormones are the fuel for the chakras. So basically, the glands are what's the major connection of our thought and everything in our body that works through the glands. So basically, for the future, we're gonna realize there's so many different study, especially in the nanotechnology. It's gonna be working on the endocrine system. A lot of major gonna be representing the endocrine system in a way different level, and especially even the medication is gonna go into a different perspective with that kind of research.
oh, good. And one more thing, let me ask you, is this electromagnetic field that field that I'm seeing in the heart level
Mm.
related to our Merkaba?
It can strengthen the body. Absolutely, you connect through it. You
You
connect through
connect.
your hearts. Yes,
uh,
definitely.
that's very interesting to know, and I had this question. Okay, so these are some images for how we can apply this sacred geometry in these seven petal schools for peace. We know that the seven petal schools for peace are a proposal of Education 3000
Yes,
to change the education into an education that takes care of these seven areas of human development. So this is great, isn't it? How we can apply
wow,
sacred geometry. Look at these. These
absolutely.
are these are plans to get all these seven petal schools created along with the sacred geometry and all these environments using,
This is absolutely beautiful.
yes, all these shapes. So I just wanted to share this with you, and these are some domes that, okay. And these are something that you can see. We're not going to have the chance to see them today, but look at these tone sounds
Sometimes, yes.
for music. And then these are some other interesting videos that you can see how sound can affect actually
Yes.
the form. How can create. how sound, how vibration creates, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So don't miss that one. And for videos, we saw all these videos, including the interview on television from architect Oscar Sinanchi. That is in Spanish, but you get their name and then you can get it. And Nature by Numbers is the one that we're going to see at the end. This is our bibliography. We say thanks to Jane Academy that teaches sacred geometry. We took some from Gaia, Sons of Creation, Nassim Haramein in Resonance Science Foundation too. He has
Yes.
some very interesting programs, and also very free classes for us to learn more
Yes.
about this subject. And destinationdeluxe.com, which they have so many interesting things to say about sacred geometry too. So would you like to read this to finish and then go back to the video and we say bye and thank
Bye.
you? Yeah,
I
please.
bow down to the architect of the architect. I bow down to nature. I bow down to harmony and beauty. I bow down to the endless, multi-dimension Fibonacci. I bow down to the diving, breathing number pi. I bow down to you, essential of all, my love, infinity of eternity. Wow, I really love that.
Yes, I love that
Yeah. This is
too.
wonderful. This is really wonderful. I'm
And we
sure that
say
you
thanks.
guys can. I mean, there's a lot more onto this subject. I really wish that we have more time. I'm sure that we can answer all your questions. And soon, 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 we get like a couple more weeks. We're gonna have our book online that you can read all the details, and you can even watch our movie videos anytime, and then you can have any answer. I mean, any question answered by us anytime. Thank you so,
Yes,
so much, Giovanna. And really,
thank
we
you
missed
and
Naomi
thank
today,
you.
but you did an amazing job.
Yes,
I
and
really
thank
love
you.
that.
And thanks to everyone that is watching us. Thank you. And remember, next time we're going to be talking about bioarchitecture, biourbanism. And say Natalia, hi
Thank
Natalia.
you.
It is
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you much for following us. And don't forget that everything is recorded in our YouTube pages, and we have
Please share.
our
Yes.
page education 3000 dot info as well. You can just go there and take a look at all this beautiful information. And I say thanks to you and thanks to Cecilia Ibarra that is in the
Hi, Cecilia. Thank you so
backstage.
much. Yes.
She's saying hi. And then thank you so much. And I'm going to share this beautiful Nature by Numbers video to say bye to you. Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Thank
All
you
the
so
love.
much.
Bye bye. this is the infinity of love and all the respect for all this great, amazing work. And I know it's been so long; it's over 2 hour now. I really wanted to send my gratitude to all the people who help us today creating this beautiful program. And I wish really you guys enjoy it.
Okay, thank you again, Kausar, and thank you, Cecilia, and everyone that made possible all this program. And thanks, Noemi. We're gonna see you next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye
Thank you so much for
bye.
all